Unit 2. European Union funds. The European Union has several different funding programs that foreign investors may be able to apply for, depending on the nature of their business or project. The European Union makes funding available in different forms, including grants, loans and guarantees, subsidies, prizes and public contracts. The main European Union funding programs are European Regional Development Fund, funds for regional and urban development. European Social Fund, funds for social inclusion and good governance. Cohesion Fund, funds for economic convergence by less developed regions. European Agricultural Fund for rural development, funds for rural development in the European Union. European Maritime and Fisheries Fund, funds for coastal communities in diversifying their economies and projects that create new jobs and improve quality of life along European coasts. These funding programs, together with the European Union Solidarity Fund which provides assistance in case of major natural disasters, and the Instrument for PR Accession which provides assistance support for European Union candidate and potential candidate countries, comprises nearly 80% of the European Union budget. Funding is based on the operational programs, agreed by European Commission and the Member State and is managed by national and regional authorities. The fund aims to strengthen economic and social cohesion in the European Union by correcting imbalances between its regions. It focuses its investments on several key priority areas, as follows. O. Innovation and research. O. Digital agenda. O. Support for small and medium-sized enterprises, and O. The low-carbon economy. The priorities are described in the operational program for implementation of European Union cohesion policy for the period 2014 to 2020 in Slovenia. Example of a call. In March 2018, the Slovenian Enterprise Fund published a call titled Incentives to Start Innovative Companies in 2018. The purpose of the call was to promote the successful transfer of development ideas into market-driven enterprises and the creation of new, innovative companies with growth potential, and with the emphasis on the development and commercialization of products, processes and services. Micro, small and medium-sized enterprises based in the Republic of Slovenia, registered between the 1st of January 2017 and the 15th of March 2018, could apply for subsidies for the launch of innovative products. There were euros 2,160,000 available, and the amount of co-financing was up to 100% of the eligible costs. Foreign investors, who opened a company in Slovenia during the period specified in the call, who also had good business ideas, could also participate in this call for proposals. Other potentially interesting calls for foreign investors were the following. Research and development projects. Development of new innovative tourism products. Complementing the SME instrument. E-commerce 2019 to 2022. Pilot demonstration projects. European Social Fund invests in people, with a focus on improving employment and education opportunities across the European Union. It also aims to improve the situation of the most vulnerable people at risk of poverty. The European Commission and Slovenia in partnership set the national priorities. One priority is to boost the adaptability of workers with new skills, and enterprises with new ways of working. Other priorities focus on improving access to employment, by helping young people make the transition from school to work, or training less skilled job seekers to improve their job prospects. Indeed, vocational training and lifelong learning opportunities to give people new skills form a large part of many ESF projects. Another priority focuses on helping people from disadvantaged groups to get jobs. This is part of enhancing social inclusion, a sign of the important role that employment plays in helping people integrate better into society and everyday life. The priorities are described in the operational program for implementation of European Union cohesion policy for the period 2014 to 2020 in Slovenia. Example of a call. In May 2018, the Public Scholarship, Development, Disability and Maintenance Fund of the Republic of Slovenia published a public call for the co-financing of informal education and training of employees. The purpose of the public tender was to increase the participation in lifelong learning and to improve the competencies needed for individuals in the Republic of Slovenia due to the needs of the labor market, increased employability and mobility and personal development and work in a modern society. Those eligible for the co-financing of the costs of non-formal education and training were the following. Individuals who have a regular working relationship in the Republic of Slovenia. Individual entrepreneurs, provided they are not employed by another employer. Individuals registered in the Register of Self-Employed Persons in Culture. There were €2,047,151 available. An individual could have obtained up to 100% of the eligible costs, but not more than €813.33. Citizenship was also not a prerequisite for this call, and foreign investors could also obtain non-formal training funds. European Agricultural Fund for Rural Development ensures funds for rural development in the European Union. Member states and regions draw up their rural development programs based on the needs of their territories and addressing at least 4 of the following 6 common European Union priorities. Fostering knowledge transfer and innovation in agriculture, forestry and rural areas. Enhancing the viability and competitiveness of all types of agriculture, and promoting innovative farm technologies and sustainable forest management. Promoting food chain organization, animal welfare and risk management in agriculture. Restoring, preserving and enhancing ecosystems related to agriculture and forestry. Promoting resource efficiency and supporting the shift toward a low-carbon and climate-resilient economy in the agriculture, food and forestry sectors. Promoting social inclusion, poverty reduction and economic development in rural areas. The Rural Development Program of the Republic of Slovenia reflects the national priorities defined by Slovenia on the basis of an analysis of the situation in agriculture, food and forestry. Example of a call. In order to improve the competitiveness of the food processing industry and increase the added value of agricultural products, the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Food announced a public call titled Support for Investments in Processing, Marketing and Development of Agricultural Products for 2018. Support was available to holders of farms, holders of supplementary activities on farms, individual entrepreneurs, cooperatives, institutions, companies, economic interest associations. Foreign investors could also participate in this call, provided that they had registered one of the listed legal entities in the field of agricultural activities. The fund helps fishermen in the transition to sustainable fishing, supports coastal communities in diversifying their economies, finances projects that create new jobs and improve quality of life along European coasts, supports sustainable aquaculture developments, makes it easier for applicants to access financing. National priorities are described in more detail in the operational program for the implementation of the European Maritime and Fisheries Fund in the Republic of Slovenia for the period 2014 to 2020. The fund is considered if your foreign investor deals with utility and fisheries. In this case, look through the operational program in more detail. The Cohesion Fund is aimed at member states whose gross national income, NI, per inhabitant is less than 90% of the European Union average. It aims to reduce economic and social disparities and to promote sustainable development. For the 2014 to 2020 period, the Cohesion Fund concerns also Slovenia. The Cohesion Fund allocates the funds for the activities under the following categories: Trans-European transport networks, projects related to energy or transport, as long as they clearly benefit the environment in terms of energy efficiency, use of renewable energy, developing rail transport, supporting intermodality, strengthening public transport, etc. The Cohesion Fund funds are intended primarily for directly eligible countries and municipalities. Both usually pick up subcontractors through public calls, so if your foreign investor is active in these areas, follow up calls for this fund. The European Union has several additional funds, usually managed by the European Commission or relevant European Union agencies. Some of them are: Horizon 2020 is the biggest European Union research and innovation program. COSME is a funding program for the competitiveness of European Union small and medium-sized enterprises. Interreg is a fund that enables joint development of different products by several partners on the basis of cross-border, territorial or international cooperation. Slovenia is participating in the following program. Interreg is a fund that allows the joint development of various partners' products through cross-border, territorial or inter-regional cooperation. Slovenia participates in the following programs: Italy Slovenia, Slovenia Austria, Slovenia Croatia, Slovenia Hungary, Alpine area, Central Europe, Mediterranean, Danube, Adriatic Ionian Program, Interreg Europe, Interact III, ESPAN and Urbact III. European Neighbourhood Instrument is the main financial instrument for promotion of cooperation among European Union member states and 16 of the EU's closest eastern and southern neighbours: Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, Palestine, Syria, Tunisia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Moldova and Ukraine. LIFE is the European Union's funding instrument for the environment and climate action. LIFE contributes to the implementation, updating and development of European Union environmental and climate policy and laws by co-financing projects with European added value. Erasmus Plus supports mobility, innovations and transfer of good practices in education. The list of all European Union funds is available on the European Commission web pages. Foreign investors who have a registered legal entity in Slovenia and fulfill the conditions of individual calls are eligible for all these programs. It is reasonable to examine individual programs and calls according to the activity of an investor. Where to find open calls for proposals. Nationally managed calls for proposals are available on the web pages of the Government Office for Development and European Cohesion Policy. European Union managed open calls have to be searched through the European Union programs. Where to obtain further information. All the calls for proposals list a content point further information. They can provide useful information and support. Don't be discouraged to communicate with them. However, don't be disappointed if they only repeat what is already published in the call, usual practice. You can get more useful information if you join the info workshops that most of them organize.